Tonight's guest on Set the Trend Live, SHAUN WALLACE. Comedian, Quincy. US recording artist, Cherie Brown. And now, here come your hosts.
Yo. How you doing, sir?
I don't even ask what I was doing. I'm okay, Reggie. Welcome to Set the Trend podcast. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to get to, in fact, I will deal with them now. If you're just logging on, just take your time, just relax. We have a fun-packed show for you guys today. But before I welcome the people, because I just let them just start logging on and logging in. Reggie, how are you?
Not too bad. I'm okay. Quite a good week, for me so far. Sorry?
Did you get any deals across the line, Reg?
Not yet. Still in lawyer stage at the moment.
Okay. So no money? No?
Nothing, Jack. Pocket empty. Empty. I ain't made nothing, I'm afraid.
He said,
Did you? How have you done? You managed to?
Well, before I go to me, what's your highlight of the week?
Nice.
My highlight of the week.
Yeah.
It's got to be 100% hearing about something that we're going to talk about later. So in the news section.
Okay, that's cool.
That was my highlight of the week. But actually, doing my radio show as per usual.
EastEnder.
Yeah.
Hello, good evening, welcome everyone.
How's it going for you, mate? Sorry, I'm just multitasking while you do your
All
stuff.
good for me. Nice week. Nothing too exciting to report, but just head down, trying to get things across the line.
That shows. Are we about to hear?
Yeah, that shows. That's some concerts for next year and some, just trying to get some artists confirmed.
Wow. For summer?
A couple for the summer, mainly really working on 2022, the first part of 2020.
How is it all affecting you? Because obviously with COVID, whether or not like summer holidays are going to happen, that's obviously going to have an effect on what you're doing and saying, because flights in and flights out. How are you preparing for that?
For this year, I'm trying to stick with UK artists. I have got a couple of American artists, but I'm not trying to bring the big bands over. It's just really solo artists. So it's just one person coming in and one person to take care of. So I'm not really going out for the 8-10 people flying in from different parts of the States. Keeping it very local this year.
Okay. All right. Well, we look forward to any further announcements that you'll be making. Your highlight of the week?
My highlight of the week was seeing your sound hand over the baton to the young guns.
We didn't hand over anything.
Well,
that weren't handing over. I'm making a statement.
They handed it over. It was like a swan song, wasn't it?
Oh, thanks, Reg.
Yeah,
well, we did get a song anyway.
Reggie, I love you too.
Yeah, I thought that was, what they call it, the changing of the guard or changing over the baton. I thought it was quite good. It was nice to it was a nice bit of entertainment on the screen.
I tell you what, for me, I think it was a bit of both of those, and I think it's been long overdue for us to welcome in some of the generation down from our kind of lot sounds and DJs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good, and if that's what it heralded or it looked like, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think Hollywood.
And Ray, I think we should explain what that was for some of the viewers who may not have seen it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. Okay, it was a live with New Invasion Roadshow over in West London. We went over to the old Oxgate Lane it was on, as it goes. So some of you may remember that from the warehouses back in the day. It was a building on that road. And we went there and we did a live. New Invasion crew asked us to come. Toddler and MJ asked us to come over and do a live with them. And it was, we loved the invite. I love Invasion Crew anyway. I think they're a great sound. And we came there, and it was just us two playing, really.
What makes them a great sound? What made you think?
They put their music together good. They suit each other good. They complement each other good. Toddler, in terms of reggae, I'm trying to think of a better DJ out there that puts his stuff together like he does. As a selector, I look on selectors more than I look on mic men. But even though I do love the mic men, but selectors, when you see that they're 120% about their craft, just like I used to be in 1990 or whenever that was, you really have to salute that. He puts his stuff together great, and he can play an hour worth of tunes, and it just seems effortless. So, for Invasion Crew,
So are we now to call you? Are we now to call you a legend, or are we now to call you a dinosaur?
A dinosaur legend. Hey, that brother was cheeky though. Anyway, let's not get into that. It's cheeky. But that was the Mrs. Robinson clip anyway that went viral in the week. So that was great stuff for me. Anyway, guys, we need to get on because we've got a packed show ahead of us, and let's get to it.
Yeah. Anyway, big welcome to everybody in the chat room.
Oh, yes. So everybody, if you've joined on Facebook, if it's possible for you, hi and good evening. Welcome to Set the Trend podcast, where we document the history of sound system, of the street sounds culture more than the sound systems, but it does involve it along the way. And this is where we tell those stories and involve people who had anything to do with the street culture. So we're telling our story, because if you don't tell your own story, nobody tells it for you. So, or they tell it their own way. So if you've come into YouTube and you just logged on, can you please share the link on YouTube? Just copy it and paste it and subscribe. More importantly, subscribe to the page on our YouTube channel. If you're on Facebook, can you share the link there? And if you haven't already, can you go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe as well? We'd love to have you subscribing over there on the YouTube channel, because when Mr. Zuckerberg gets wicked, we've always got we'll have our own platform. Another platform.
Ernie.
So big up Daddy Ernie in the building. He's one of the
Nix,
the soldiers of the whole community. Big up to Daddy Ernie. And remember, Daddy Ernie has his Fixture First, I think it's called, with Robbo Ranks, where they do a Friday night footballing show. So make sure that you guys...
It's called the Fixture List.
Friday. Fixture List.
It's called the Fixture List.
They're Fixture List. So make sure you guys have a listen to that as well. So let's get into it. Anita, we've got two guests coming up today. So we have Shaun Wallace, the Chaser, will be in the building about 10:25 to 10, and we'll be talking to him about his involvement in street sound culture. But first up at 10:15, in about 6 minutes' time, we have the Cockney Prince himself, Quincy, comedian, will be in the building talking about his new show that he's got. So we'll be
lovely jubbly,
lovely stuff. I think he's my most loved Bayesian. He is. So let me call him that. I hope he doesn't.
My best friend's Bayesian,
because he can get wicked as well. Because there's two wicked men on the program today, and if your tongue is a bit loose or they don't like it, they'll come back with quips today. So if the panel gets buried, then you accept our apologies in advance, because these two have a different kind of talent. You know what I mean? And we can only look up to trying to be there. So let's get on with the show anyway. Anita Baker has asked fans not to buy or stream her music as she battles for her masters. Why is she doing that, EastEnder?
That's really a Reggie question. Reggie's got the answer to that. That's his background and his speciality.
Are you passing that one on, are you?
No. He's got the whole breakdown of it.
Okay, so let's give it to someone who obviously did their research. Reggie, do you know why that's happened?
I don't know how that sideswiped to me. Anyway, so basically, Anita Baker, as you know, when you're an artist, you sign a record deal. As part of that record deal, you sign over the original ownership of the recordings to that particular label. Back in those days when Anita Baker was recording, record labels and publishers would have that as part of their deal. And it was, for some, it was a bit unfavorable in regards to the percentages. And as a result, now with the whole new streaming era and digital technology, nobody anticipated at that time that we would be using MP3s and also streaming online. So a lot of the deals which involved her record label deal when she signed obviously didn't have these. So she's now in the process of trying to negotiate a new deal, because she's got a very valuable catalogue. Her catalogue is just up there with Michael Jackson, Prince, and also the likes of Whitney Houston. So she's trying to get herself a better deal. So she's doing what Dave Chappelle did.
Yeah, the masters belong to the record company, and after 35 years, you get to release them. You get to own them back. So, her first album, which was released on Beverly Glen, is 37 years old. Rapture, which actually came out today, 34 years ago today, is now one more year and she can claim that back. So after 35 years, you can actually reclaim your masters.
Not necessarily, because it depends on what deal. It depends on what deal you signed.
Yeah, and that's why she's fighting to get it back, I think.
Yeah. Same thing with Dave Chappelle. Remember when Dave Chappelle did the comedy thing and he held out, he got everybody not to watch it, and then eventually the Comedy Channel buckled, and he managed to work out a deal.
Well, the good thing about Anita Baker, she's not broke. She's got the money. She's happy to take them to court and fight them for it.
I don't know about
expensive process.
Yeah, but she says she's happy to go and fight them for it. Which is
indeed, why not? There's some amazing catalogue. Like the songs are timeless.
Oh my God, that Rapture, it's amazing, isn't it?
Been so long.
Sweet Love.
Feel the need. Anyway, that's that. Let's move on, because time's just running. Keisha Cole says she's on her last album. Why?
Album number 8. She just wants to concentrate and spend her time raising her children, and she's got a lot of TV work. So I think it's nothing better than raising your children.
If that means that we're gonna have no more albums of her cussing men, then hey. Anyway.
Well, she's got 8 albums out, 7 albums, she's got a new one coming out. It's gonna be the last one, and then she's gonna take her time out to look after her kids. And then after that, when they get old, she'll come back and record some more, I reckon.
Right. Yeah. Reggie Styles, tell us about Carol Glenn.
Oh, this is amazing. For anybody who is a big fan of F1 motorsport, this lady called Carol Glenn has launched the first ever Black-owned motorsport racing team. It's called NRG. NRG, she is also the first Black woman to become a licensed race official. And at the moment, they are looking for 16-year-olds and plus to learn more about F1. They got an event which is coming up in July, which people can go along to and take your kids. I implore everybody. I mean, look at our very own CK Flash, who created and done some great things and broke boundaries with these BMXing. This is going to definitely change the game, and we wish Carol all the best. I 100% will give her the support. I'm a big F1 fan, and it's been backed by people like Lewis's dad and a few others. So if I've managed to sell a few NFTs, I'll definitely put some money into this NRG racing team myself, because I reckon it's going to be huge.
Good. Well, I hope the very best on that, and I think that especially Black males. Anyway, she's doing it for females as well, isn't it? It's not just males, is it?
It's diversity, all backgrounds, Black, Asian, wherever, all diverse backgrounds, basically, from whether you're poor, whether you've got a bit of money and just not enough to do racing because it's an expensive sport, motor racing. We all remember going go-karting, and then when you wanted to step up a gear, it started to get a bit expensive, and, but well done, and I wish you all the best of luck.
And I also heard that Skepta might be doing these, and I saw that earlier. And thank you, Charmaine Bradshaw, for reminding me. I saw that he's saying that there's another single to come out, and that might be him as well, stepping away from music. So it is an oh wow moment for the music industry at the minute. Skepta.
Well, there's a lot of money flying around elsewhere. I remember years ago, I said that brand in would be the new in thing. And, there's so much money on the table, from clothing labels to merchandising to partnerships with gaming companies. I mean, why do you need to record an album? Like, when you, after a certain amount of time, go through that laborious process of doing a massive tour, and somebody's going to put 30 million in your bank account for literally featuring on a game or selling trainers. Look at Kanye, 6.6 billion. Reasons why.
To talk about Kanye West, but he has now become officially the black man with the most money in the world. I mean, that's a great achievement, though.
Good on him, yeah.
Fantastic. I don't care what people actually think about him in some aspects and some of the decisions he made, but in terms of an entrepreneur, in terms of bringing the music to another furore, in terms of bringing his fashion idea, I mean, yes, he did have help. He did have a major label helping him, but he had to get there first. So big up Kanye West.
And sticking with Kanye West, Jesus is King. He won a Grammy at the 63rd Grammy Awards, which took place on Sunday. Well done to him. My highlight at the Grammys, we always talk about Jay-Z. My favorite rapper, Nas. It was written still.
Hold on. We have Carol Glenn in the building, so big up to Carol Glenn. Sorry, I just saw
big
that.
Big up, Carol. Doing amazing stuff.
We'll have to get Carol on the show anyway, Rich.
100%.
So if we can link that up. Sorry, Eastern.
So yeah, my favorite rapper, from Illmatic to Stillmatic, It Was Written, The Lost Tapes, Nas. For all those great albums, never ever won a Grammy, But this year, for the first time, he won his Grammy.
They're just giving them out, man. They're just giving them out. Black Lives Matter. They're just giving them out because he should have won it a long time ago.
Congratulations to Nas. Made a mature album for hip hop, not for the clubs. Well done to him.
And we're not talking much about the Grammys. That kind of shows you how low the Grammys are sunk. So we'll leave that there. Anyway, people, we got one more thing to talk about before our guests, the first of our guests, come on the show. So to remember, we also have the singer, songstress, the icon that is Cherie Brown, closing the show with a live performance today. So all you Rare Groove fans, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. And if any of you love Cherie Brown or anybody that does, make sure you invite them to make sure they come and see the show. So 24, 12 months ago even, 23rd of March, Boris Johnson came and he addressed the nation. Producers, can we just have a clip of the address to the nation?
It's vital to slow the spread of the disease, because that is the way we reduce the number of people needing hospital treatment at any one time, so we can protect the NHS's ability to cope and save more lives. And that's why we've been asking people to stay at home during this pandemic.
Well, that was nearly a year ago, 3 days away, I think it is. What's the date today? It's the 20th, isn't it?
20th.
3 days away. And we got our instruction of our lives, for some of us older ones, the instruction of our lives to stay at home, save the NHS. The COVID-19 virus became a reality for many of us, and furlough lockdown
began.
Furlough lockdown began. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I think that's something maybe we need to. I don't want to do a show with it because it mentions Boris, and I can see we need to, guys. We need to have a flag of the British flag in the background.
Yeah,
next week, you two get the British flag and let's put it in the background.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm just going to make sure I put my Sierra Leonean flag in the back.
You do both, but you have to have the British flag, mate.
Let me tell you why. Because the census has come out this week, and you got to fill out your where you're from and whatever.
Yeah, tonight.
I, the way I worked it out, I said, right, how am I going to put myself? Am I Black British or Black African or whatever? I've just put African. I'll tell you why. Because I know 100%, even though I've got a British passport, if I do anything wrong, I'm getting deported.
Anything to do with Priti Patel, you're probably right. Anyway, next week, can we have the flyer up for the artwork for our show next week, please? Because we're doing a part 2 to the coronavirus show that we did about 6 weeks ago, where we invited on some esteemed doctors to come and talk about coronavirus and more than that, talk about the vaccine and the effects of the vaccine. So this is the part 2 show where we've also added, apart from Dr. Atta Achola and Dr. Crystal Farrell, we have Dr. Sarah Ann Filson and Dr. Hamish Mohammed, who are both coming on. And Dr. Hamish Mohammed is an infectious disease epidemiologist, and he's working with public health. So everything to do with the vaccine, he's a very important guy alongside Dr. Sarah Ann Filson for us to talk about as well. They've been working on the vaccine and specifically to do with Black people. So next week, if you still don't know or not sure or need some more guidance about whether or not the vaccine is for you or not, then next week is a show, and we're doing the part 2 for you guys. So you can log on, and also we want your questions as well. So we're going to put up a post in the week asking for your questions for the show, and also on the night you can put your questions to the doctors as well.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm ready. Are you ready?
Ready, ever ready. Like
you got
ready.
your tin hats ready just in case.
Yeah?
Have you got tin hats ready, like just in case they launch
What's
one?
he going to say about me? Can't say anything about me. Other than my size. That's it.
So our first guest up, I don't know. The original people may know him as Mr. As a DJ from Goodfella Sound, alongside a certain Mr. Kipling, who's better known as Idris Elba. A lot of other people may also know him as one of our longest serving and best comedians, Quincy. And he's also a Liverpool supporter, so let's bring him up. You know, Get him up. Well, Quincy.
Quincy, you all right?
How are you, sir?
I'm tired today. I'm a bit tired. It's been a heavy week. Had the last show, so I've been dealing with the next stage of the next season. But just going to have a well-deserved break for a little bit. And yeah,
I think you've got your radio. Quincy, as they say.
It's my radio.
Yeah, because some repeat. Isn't that what they say?
Was it feedback? I've got it. I had the headphones in. I apologise for that.
Okay, cool.
I've turned it off.
So something's still feedback. Still.
Is it? No, not my side. I've turned everything off. Everything like half.
Well, you just came in, mate.
Oh, is it? It might be that gap between.
There's an echo, though.
Is there?
Yeah, it is. I don't want to your vibe. Can we quickly take him out and put him back in, and we'll talk a little bit? Let's just take him out and back in, please, because I know they're the next. I know. And it ain't us. Yeah, see, it's gone. So it's Quincy. See?
Can Mike.
Check one.
If you've got headphones, Quincy, it'd be good if you put them back in as well, because maybe that will solve it as well if you've got any headphones. I see Mr. C is like laughing after Quincy, you know what I mean? So that's his fellow comedian friend. See, when you got friends like that, mate, you got friends like that, you know what I'm saying?
I think Kane Brown's in the room as well.
Big up Kane. He's Kane in the room. Oh, big up nephew. How you doing, sir? You know,
yeah. Just to say, there's a lot of love coming in for Carol Glenn in the chat room, and people saying some great things about the stuff that she's doing, and also one or two comments about the vaccine as well. All right,
is that better?
100%, Quincy.
Now we're talking.
100%. So, sorry. So the reason that we did get you on was to talk about your show, Extra Time Friday. Your production levels on that show is absolutely crazy, Quincy. Tell us a bit about that show and how you came to create it.
Extra Time Friday started for me doing my radio program on Supreme, and it actually started. I actually covered a presenter. He couldn't make it, and I covered it. And I normally was doing at the time 2 shows a week. So I just said, look, I'm here today. You know what I mean? It's Extra Time Fridays. And I just vibed as I did. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm known for playing music, and back in the day, I just vibed and I was messing around, and it got such a great feedback. The owners of the station, the guys running it, when I mentioned the names, Goody. They said the show's yours. The show's yours. So basically.
So how did that develop from a radio show then into a full-time TV production show that would have looked quite at home on BBC or ITV to my mind?
Well, I was approached by a guy by the name of Nick Pin. So when lockdown, I'm actually one of the few people who actually rates, not rates, I don't rate him, he's an idiot, but I thank him. Boris, the Milky Bar kid with diabetes, I actually thank him. Yeah? Because if we wasn't in lockdown, sometimes we find ourselves in situations we easily end up in a comfort zone. And this was the first time where I had to really go outside of my comfort zone and do shows online. I'm used to just turning up at an event and the mic is set for me and the levels are set for me. I go to the radio station, to the studio and all that kind of stuff. But this time I had to do it. So I was setting up interviews with people and I was doing it via the phone. And the interviews was just flying in. And because of my kind of character, Nick heard it. And I'd done a hashtag before Extra Time Fridays. There was a hashtag comedy TV with Kane, Mr. C and Slim. And we were doing that for like 10, 11 weeks. And that came to a pass. And then Nick Pin approached me and said to me, Quincy, you do live shows, you're doing your radio show. He said, you're really good at what you do. Take it to the next level. He said, I've got this production team behind me. I work at a production company. It's just sitting there. So he said to me, look, take it to the next level and do it properly. You know
so
what I mean?
What channel was this on? So Nick is part of what channel did it go on for?
No, it didn't go from a channel. So he's got his own production company called Stomping Pictures.
Yeah.
So that is his. So Stomping Pictures was formed, and we put hashtag comedy TV. Or he did hashtag comedy TV on there. And the idea of that hashtag of Stomping Pictures was going to be like any other production company, like a Off the Curb or anything of Avalon. So the same thing what we're doing here. So this platform could have easily go on Stomping Pictures.
Yeah.
And because of his experience in TV, he said to me, take your show, no one's doing it, and take it to the next level. I ain't gonna lie to you, at first I was looking at him sideways like Scooby-Doo confused, yeah, but I believed in him, and the results
I believe our producers has got a clip of Extra Time Friday. Can we see that clip?
This week on Extra Time Fridays, we got the voice of London, Mr. Eddie Nesta. We're making chocolates with Mr. Paul Gregory and Love Island's Michael Boateng.
I went for what I wanted.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out.
With music supplied by Mr. Time Alone and the Extra Timers. Culture Corner courtesy of Sarah Callahan. And comedian, now turned actor, Mr. Richard Blackwood. It's all to be hosted by yours truly, Cockney Prince Quincy, alongside my lovely co-host, Ms. Janelle Rayburn. That's this Friday, 9 p.m, Stomping Pictures, YouTube and Facebook Live. Extra Time Fridays, making your Friday night lockdown that bit more easier.
Wicked.
The thing is that the advert doesn't do the show justice, though. You know.
Yeah.
They need to see the show, and the show is available. I mean, it's not. That's the good thing with YouTube. You can go back and watch the show.
Yeah. All 8 episodes. Yeah.
They're all on there. Just before we move on, Time Alone. He's passed away this week. You had him on the show. Tell us a bit about Time Alone for all those who don't know who Time Alone was.
So Time Alone, independent artist. His manager at the time, Melody, approached me and said to me, she heard about the shows and she said, look, do you mind interviewing my artist? And I'll give anybody a chance and say, look, come onto the show, come talk about your music and who you are. And so I interviewed him on my platform, and he came across well. And he actually reminded me of a performance he'd done, which I was at. And he said that I fobbed him off. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah. I was talking to a girl and you walked in and she goes, Quincy, and left me there. And I was like, that's not. I don't do those kind of things. That's not me. You must be mistaken. That is. Anyway, yeah. So I liked his vibe, and a tune called "Just Cool" was sent to me, and I thought it was an excellent tune. And I rang him. Originally, he was supposed to come on the week before, but we had to rearrange. And like I said, I'll give anybody a chance, and especially in the scene what we got, it's always great to promote British. And I wanted to bring people in as with the live band, which is an idea of Nick's, and the singers I got in, and I wanted to promote those singers and give them a platform. So when people ask me what is Extra Time Fridays, I always describe it as Graham Norton meets the last leg with seasoning.
With seasoning.
Seasoning. I like that. Seasoning. And most importantly, I mean, how important is it because we know Black people in this field do not get a lot of opportunities to do Black shows on mainstream TV. I think like Eddie was in one of them, and I think there's about a couple more, and then maybe there's 10 or so with Lenny Henry in, and probably that's about it. How important was that for you?
It was important because you're hearing a tier of comedian and artists who's in touch with the streets, and I'm not saying that Eddie and those guys ain't, but what you find that some of I'll call it, some of our Black celebrities, once they get to that point, it's like they lose contact with the streets, and they get surrounded by gatekeepers, right? Yeah. And it's like you have to go through gatekeepers to get at them, and it's all about we're protecting their brand. You know, like, pardon my French, F their brand. Yeah, you know who the people are. So I don't care how big I get. Any of yous, man, and Reggie, I've never met you before, but respect to you. Yeah, call my phone. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. If I get famous, I will change it. But
don't worry, Quincy. I'll be seeing you.
I'm not bigger than the streets. You know what I mean?
Don't worry.
And like I said, I recognise where I come from, and some of them out there, they get opportunity.
We'll see if you're saying that once you get that.
It's documented now. It's documented now.
Once that Soho House membership comes in, Quincy, we'll see what you're saying there, isn't it?
Yeah, when I get that Anita Baker money, then you find out. Yeah, you know what
I mean? So why did it come to an end? Because how many episodes did you do, Quince? Was it about 4 or 5 episodes?
8 episodes. It came to an end purely the fact of we don't own the building, and the goalposts were being changed. So between myself and my business partner, the co-producer, said, end with a high. It will come back, but this time I'm going to we're going to look at our options, and I'm going to buy my own building. And that's wicked. Like I said, that's documented now. I will get my own building. You know what I mean? I'm not going by any means necessary, but I will get that building, and I'm on the hunt for it right now.
I mean, you've got at least one celebrity backer that might endorse you, Idris. I didn't see Mr. Idris Elba in this series. Is that one of the guests that you might be looking at having on your show in future?
Oh no, yeah, he will come on, but sometimes what I mean, it's like us being football man, and sometimes you don't put your ace card. You know what I mean? And I wanted the show to resemble people. So like we can call out the big names, but when you call out the big names, it's like, okay, then where do you go next? So if I had brought Idris on the first episode, or Judy Love, or a Mo Gilligan, where am I going after that?
Yeah, for TV. Yeah, what you got?
You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I wanted to bring people on there who have the main point is got a story to tell. So when we brought one of the guys on there called Nathan, who was 39 stone, yeah, and it had his coach at the time, Deborah. He had a story to tell. She had a story to tell, and people resonated with that story far more than they would resonate with a Denzel Washington. Yeah, Denzel Washington's great, but I'm a story man. That's how I tell my jokes. I tell jokes with stories, and people can relate to it. We've all got problems with our weight up and down, and You know what I mean? Like, you know, biscuit freak and all that kind of stuff. So for me, I mean, that will get people there. I mean, you love a biscuit, Reg? You love a biscuit?
I don't usually eat them because you know we're not supposed to, but you know, a little one nibble.
No,
you know what I mean?
Biscuits got to be diabetes. Biscuits and women.
What about cream crackers?
Cream crackers? No, they're Windrush biscuits. I like eating a custard cream. Crackers? Who is crackers in this day and age? How old are you?
Crackers and water. What are you doing?
Crackers and water. You are proper South London boy. Unbelievable.
So
Peck and biscuit.
Where would you like to see Extra Time Friday in a couple of years' time? What's the aim for it? Where do you want to take it to?
On our platform. Yeah, it's all good it going on a mainstream channel, but why can't it be on our platform? And our platform doesn't necessarily mean just black people. It should mean like a revolt. You know what I mean? Like Puff Daddy owns. It should be on our platform, because as we know, whatever we do, they will come.
Mm-hmm.
And they would try and buy it and take it, and then once they take it, it's like it's diluted.
Control. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. I will see it on a platform. It will be on our platform.
Yeah.
And the masses, as we know, black attracts people from all nationalities. Everyone wants to be us. So it will be successful.
Quincy, before we let you go, one question to ask you, I think is the most important question for me and you. Are we winning the Champions League?
Oh, here we go.
That's out, man. These two Arsenal supporters
Istanbul again.
Never anywhere near the European Cup. I mean, but Quincy, let's get to serious matters. Are we going to do it, mate?
I can't see why not. I think that's the only thing we've got going for us. I think that I think that our teams, I don't know what Obia they put on our team.
Juju they put on with
I don't know what Juju they. A few of them Arsenal African man put some proper skeleton. I'm gonna have a word with Crucial Robbie. Now, this season, I don't know what happened. I just think that I've fallen out of love actually this season, because it showed me when late last season, when of all the pandemic, they were so important to get football back on TV, and to me, it's like people are dying. If we take it on a bigger picture, people are actually dying. People don't know if they're going to have money, and all you want to do is making sure that those players play football in front or not in front of a crowd. And for me, I lost. Even I was happy that we won the league and after 30 years and all that, but I lost a bit of love for it. It just showed me money talks.
Definitely.
That's my excuse for us not winning.
Quincy, thank you for coming on to set the trend, mate. We want to invite you back on to talk more about sound system business and sound culture.
Yeah, when you're ready, man. When you're ready.
Sounds later on, and also if your show comes back on and we're here, most definitely just use it as a platform to come on and promote it.
Happy belated birthday, Quincy, for last week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, big 050, son. Big 050. Looking good for it. I'm in the Lionel Richie realm now. I can check Young Gal.
And the Extra Time program, they can still catch you on the radio when?
Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and I'm back with you on a Friday. 4 days. Don't do a Tuesday because that's as the cheap day.
What radio station, Quincy?
I thought you were plugging. Yeah, Supreme FM, 99.8, supremefmlive.ning.com. Marathon Mondays, 7 to 1 in the afternoon, 10 to 1 on a Wednesday, 10 to 1 on a Thursday, and 10 to 1 on a Friday. That's me.
Cool. And if they want to get hold of you, what your social media handles? Is it Quincy Comedian?
Yeah, so social media handles is at Quincy_Comedian, aka the Cotley Prince, or Quincy71 2020. That's my business. That's my white people page. That's my business page.
Thank you, Quincy. Thank you, Quincy. It's been a pleasure, mate. Thank you.
All right.
Oh my days! I love a bit of Quincy. I tell you, mate. He's one of the realest out there.
Yeah. He's always good to bring laughter.
One of the real ones. So thank you very much to Quincy Comedian for coming on. He wants a young girl like Lionel Richie. Hey, he ain't easy, bro.
He's got to be careful with that talk now. Listen, mate, he got to be careful.
Yeah. There you go. Taking all the fun out of it. He's a comedian. He's allowed to do that.
Haven't you seen them? Hey, comedians not immune.
Yes, Reggie.
Comedians are not immune.
Yes, Reggie. Yeah.
Cancel culture.
Anyway.
But big him up though. I hope he definitely does that. I was actually going to say to him, because obviously we started Set the Trend in a studio setting, sort of, and we because of the pandemic we had to go online to do our live stuff. So you never know. Hopefully we might be one of the shows on his channel.
There you time for work, eh? You never miss a trick. You never miss a trick. Anyway, from one Liverpool supporter, we're gonna welcome a hardcore Chelsea supporter. He's a fellow
Echo.
He's a fellow Gemini as well. I don't know where that echo is coming from because he wasn't there before. He's also a barrister, and he became the first Black Mastermind champion in 2004. Also known fondly as the Dark Destroyer, and also as from the Chaser from ITV. Can we welcome Mr. Shaun Wallace to Set the Trend podcast? Hey!
How you doing, Ray? How you doing? How you doing, Reggie? How you doing, Mr. Eastender? How are you? You all right?
Thank you. How you doing, sir?
You know, that is the nicest introduction I've ever heard from this guy. You know, I've known him for a long, long time, and all he's ever given me is stick. So I'm wondering what's coming next, actually, because I'm really a bit unnerved by the fact that he gave me such a warm and gracious introduction. What's happening? Is there a chat somewhere? Don't tell me. Don't tell me Beatles about. It's got to be anything.
No, hey, it's good to have you here. A lot of people probably asked, like in a way, like, what's your connection to street sound culture? And we're gonna talk about that because maybe a lot of people don't really realize that you're one of us, if I can fondly call you that. But before we go there, where did it start for Shaun Wallace? Where did Shaun Wallace grow up?
Didn't you buy my autobiography, Chasing the Dream?
Yeah, we did.
Now I'm really offended. I'm really offended. Plug. You know what I mean? No, I mean, I've lived on the same street for the last 60 years. Really, I've not really changed from the area which I lived, and you know, my parents I come from a sort of fairly humble beginnings. My mum came over to this country in the mid-50s, as did my dad. My dad worked at Heinz for the last 50 years of his life, and my mum was a state-registered nurse. And, you know, I just grew up in an area which I love and always call home.
And that's the borough of, is that Barnet?
Brent.
So you're
Dawn Butler's. Is it Dawn Butler?
Yeah, Dawn's my MP. I actually stood against her in the 2005 general election, actually.
Yes, so I read. So what went wrong there then?
Well, I actually entered I had no intention of actually entering the general election, and it was at the time I used to have I still do have a good relationship with the Voice newspaper, and they asked me off the cuff would I stand in the general election. I said no chance. So at the time I was invited by Paul Boateng, who was then the sitting MP, because he was about to retire. Mm-hmm. And it was basically going to be a coronation procession to actually hand over the MPship to Dawn, because at the time, South Brent had the largest constituency in terms of election votes. So he took me out to lunch at the newly opened Portcullis House, and he asked me what I was doing. I said, "Oh, by the way, I was asked by the Voice newspaper whether or not I'd stand in the general election." And he said to me, "What did you say?" I said, "No, don't want to do it." And he turned around and said to me, "You stand no chance anyway." And I was so stunned by that. What? So from there, I went straight to the town hall in 40 Lane in Wembley, and I paid my £500 deposit. So I had about 10 days. It was 10 days before the election, and I came fifth with 297 votes. And a lot of people came up to me and said, "You know, I voted for you, Shaun. I voted for you." And I thought to myself, that was 3,000 people who came up to me and voted for me. 297 votes. How does that work out?
Yeah.
But Yeah, it was a good experience. So it's a
You
good
didn't
laugh.
lose your deposit, did you?
Oh no! I lost my deposit.
Did the announcer on the night say to you, "Thanks for coming, but for now the chase is over"?
No, because the chase wasn't even a twinkle in the sort of producer's eye at the time. So, and I'd retired from quizzing by then.
Right.
So
Okay.
But we're going to get there anyway, Sean. So, growing up in Brent, what was it like growing up in Brent at the time?
Just like any other young black guy, experienced sort of direct and overt racism. You were told if you wanted to actually be somebody or achieve something in your life, you were told in no uncertain terms you're either going to be a bus driver, a bus mechanic, or a thief. But I knew I wanted to be when I was 11 years old. I wrote to the Bar Council, and when they wrote back, it was the first letter I got from an adult, and I kept that letter as a source of inspiration. And when you go through your rites of passage, when you're 14, you got to sort of prepare for. And then they had a sort of 2-tier system of exams. You had the CSEs and the O levels, and the CSEs were basically, if you a darker shade of white, that was the type of exams you were doing. So I took that letter to my careers teacher. So she goes to me, "Wallace, what do you want to be when you grow up?" I said, "I want to be a lawyer." She goes, "You, at best, you're going to be a thief, but worse, you'll probably end up packing shelves." I mean, she was right about me ending up in prison, though. Only she forgot to say that after having seen my client, I can go home again. So,
so when you got to the, when did you start raving first? Let me ask that. When did you start going out?
About 15. I used to go to when you're sort of growing up 14, you go to the sort of local youth centre. They sort of put on dances, but I started going to a club called the Alperton Youth Centre every Friday night. Then I used to go to a club called Crackers. There was a soul club. Yeah.
Cool. So you must shake it.
Bird's Nest. Then I became very, very good friends with Chris Sweeney. And when he set up the Winner Roadshow, his first ever gig was in the spring of 1978. Around a guy called Robert Quay's house, who was the original member of the Sound. So I've been a big supporter of Chris ever since. We've been very good friends, and I've been a sort of hardback raver. All Nations, as I go All Nations on a regular basis. Downstairs at the basement at 4 o'clock when it's pitch dark, you don't know what you're pulling. So I've done night moves every Sunday. I used to go night moves every Sunday when it started in the sort of late 70s up until around 1990. Every Sunday I was there.
So what kind of music did Sean Wallace listen to at 15, 16?
At 15 and 16, everybody listened to the sort of reggae, Dennis Brown, Bob Marley. But I had a sort of more a liking for sort of soul music, really. So that's why I used to go to places like Crackers and things like that. So I used to listen to Robbie Vincent on a Saturday, Tony Williams on a Sunday. Everybody used to listen to Tony Williams on a Sunday. So that was my sort of musical love. Although I do have an eclectic mix of music. I like Steely Dan. I love James Taylor. Grew up on the Beatles. So Michael McDonald from the Doobie Brothers. Anybody who can really, really sing. I've got a sort of Al Green, Al Jarreau, you name it.
So, in terms of the music, what was the kind of attire to go with the music at the time? What kind of clothes was you wearing at that time? Well, you're a pretty big lad at the time.
Yeah. So. The one thing I was always into was my clothes. I used to spend money at Davis shop, the Davis shop on the Edgware Road. So the Gabechi tops, crocodile skin shoes. I used to be the type of guy who used to sort of, spend about £200-400 on a pair of shoes, and bring the shoes in its bag to the darts, put them on, and take them off. Yeah, that's how I was. Because the one thing when you as a kid growing up, you could be the ugliest person in the world, but the first thing a woman would look at is your shoes.
Shoes.
Yeah, your shoes. So I used to go to Panache up in Dollis Hill. Yeah.
Wow.
I was as a kid growing up from around. Yeah, I spent a lot of money on shoes.
So you're what they call the dresser.
Yeah.
The guys used to dress up.
Did he have smart? No. I would wear sort of either normally crocodile Crocs. Everybody had the Crocs. I didn't wear jewelry though. I wasn't really into the sort of jewelry.
You didn't ever chops or big gold chain.
No. Guys who used to wear that are, a bit suspect, I thought.
Did you ever play a lizard skin shoes at all?
Yeah, you name it, lizard, ostrich. I had the full range, bro.
You know they worth a bit of money now, though, don't you?
Yeah, but after a while I got rid of them.
Was this while you was? So when did you start practicing for the bar? So at what time
I got called to the bar on the 27th of November 1984. So when I was 24. So again, that was and still is to this day the proudest moment of my life because as an 11-year-old boy, I was like Muhammad Ali. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be the greatest. Mm-hmm. But if you talk the talk, you've got to walk the walk. And I talk in my autobiography in relation to the sort of setbacks I had in my initial academic career. I failed O-level English 5 times. And I want people to realize that because people thought, they see me on the TV now, but 20 years ago I was Sean Who. And I want people to realize that, it was very, very difficult sometimes when you sort of want to actually achieve something in your life and you don't have that sort of break. And the one thing I will always say is this. There are 1,000 more people talented than me, not only just as a lawyer, but also probably as a quizzer. But the one thing I always say to people is this. If you've got a talent, you've always got to make sure you put your best foot forward. And secondly, you never know who's watching you because you do need that bit of luck. Everybody needs that bit of luck, no matter whether it's entertainment, sport, commerce. You still need that bit of luck allied to your talent to be given that helping hand to get you to the next level.
Totally agree, and that's why I tell these guys all the time when they're having a go at me about always touting for work. You just never know.
Yeah, you just never know. Yeah.
Don't worry, Sean. He's going to be touting to be on your show soon. Just give him.
Not a problem.
Just give him 10 minutes.
So when you went to the bar, did your love of music kind of wane?
No, I was still a hardback raver.
What?
Yeah. I used to come home from night moves about 3 o'clock, and I'd been caught Monday morning.
Yes.
I made the one thing I made sure is that there's a time for work and there's a time for play, and I never ever sort of mix business with pleasure. So I'll never stop raving.
So did you ever see any of your prospective clients when you were out clubbing?
Yeah. Sometimes when I go out, I do. Yeah, not a problem. More so now that I'm on telly. So, but I want people to judge me, especially in the courtroom, as a lawyer, not as a TV personality host, because they're two separately different things. Yeah. So I've just finished a sort of 2-month filming stint on The Chase now. So I'm back to my day job next week. So I'm starting a big 3-week trial in Bristol.
Oh, okay, wow. So before we get into some of that, what I want to ask you about is, can you take us back to your first RJS holiday?
Yeah. I sold the very first sets. Okay, that was in 1987 because it used to be RJS. It was Roddy, Jack, a guy called Jack, and Sweeney. Yeah. So in the October of '86, I was around Chris's house. And they said to me, "Look, we're going to be doing it was called the Ibiza Experience." So I said, "All right." So I wrote the very first brochure package.
Oh wow!
We had to fill out. It was me who wrote it. They then took it off, got it printed. So I sold about 30 tickets. So I went for nothing.
Chris always got that in there, and it sell tickets, and then
Chris always tells a story that I was in Ibiza and I bought a white pair of flannel trousers, trying to look cool, and I remember I was ironing it, and I was talking to the guys, and I don't know my sort of
burnt up the trousers,
completely burnt it, and them were killing themselves. So I took a big pair of scissors. And I cut him down to shorts.
I made him a shorts.
Yeah, just made him shorts. Not a problem. With the espadrilles and the sort of pink sort of lacrosse t-shirt. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. So in total, I went on the trip. The best one I ever went on was when they went to Amsterdam. But after a while, I'd say to Chris, "Look, I'll make my listen. Just tell me what it is. I'll meet you there." Mm-hmm. So because sometimes, especially could be too much of a bit of sort of here, there, and everywhere. So I thought, look, I'll just meet you there. So I went to Malta in '95, Amsterdam in '91. That was a brilliant weekend. That was.
Solid.
Where else did I go? I've been quite a few of them, but I would make my own way. Say, Chris, tell me where it is. I'll see you there.
A couple of things I want to ask you about it. Mr. Roddy, King Roddy, rest in peace. What was your favorite memory about King Roddy? Because he was definitely a strong character.
He was, the one he had calmed down a lot. Actually, I'd known Roddy for about 40 years when he was in the Java Sound. So, when I first met him, he was sort of, a bit standoffish. Could be a bit rough if you didn't really know him. But we became good friends I became good friends with him through Chris. And I suppose once they knew of my legal background, they befriended me even more. But God rest his soul. I was at Chris's. It was this time last year, actually. Chris had his birthday party at the Royal Lounge in Wembley, and that was the last time I saw Roddy. And we all took a picture together. Me, Roddy, Chris, and Chris's children. And the next thing I heard, he sadly passed away. I was gutted.
Yeah, I
mean, his birthday's on September the 19th. So I'd always know that. So we're good mates.
With Roddy, I mean, it was always Chris, and Chris himself is he? I mean, he's like he is the main guy. I mean, even though like you had Roddy and you had the other guys around him supporting him, but Chris is kind of the head person.
Roddy and Chris were like that. I tell you, they really were like that. And as I say, although it's RJS, Jack just sort of just dropped out of the scene because Jack and Roddy were very, very good friends, but he didn't really pull his weight. But they just never got rid of his initial, and it sort of tripped off the tongue, RJS. So that's why they kept it. What's your
most memorable moment with Chris Sweeney on the trips? You must have enough.
Too many to mention. I suppose my most memorable one was December the 22nd, 2019, when we went to White Hart Lane to watch Tottenham Chelsea, standing in the Tottenham end, and I'm here with him, and a couple of people recognised who I was. And William scored 2 great goals, and I didn't celebrate, just gave it like that. Looked at all the fans there, gave it all that. And I've still got a picture of me and Chris, him looking sort of, very, very despondent. So I suppose that would be the top, because me and Chris would always said that we'd go to Tottenham, Chelsea, Tottenham. But for me to go to White Hart Lane to see his boys turned over, and the best part was to see his face at the full-time whistle. Absolutely.
I know the feeling.
There's a question in here from Tyrone Touchty. He says, please ask what happened at Chris Sweeney's 50th birthday in Gran Canaria by the pool.
Not a problem. I'll ask that. Okay. He was there. Of course he was there. Because what happened, right? Everybody wants to, because of my quizzing, everybody wants to catch me out. So I said, okay, the bet was that if I got a question wrong, that I'd strip naked and jump into the pool. Not a problem. So I gave them a quiz book, and they were testing me all day long. All day long they were. We was there for about 2 hours, and they couldn't get a question wrong. So they then asked me what was my weakest subject. And I told them soaps. So they then asked me a question on what's that program, Wisteria Lane, with Eva Longoria?
Oh, Desperate Housewives.
Desperate Housewives. I've never watched an episode, but they've asked me a question on that, and I got it wrong. So everybody's around the pool. Daddy Ernie leading the charge. Yeah,
he is a wackiness on Ernie.
Oh, he's absolutely loving it. Him in particular, he's absolutely loving it. Sweeney's absolutely loving it. Right. So they then started to take the mickey out of me because they said I had on budgie smugglers, and that's why I've got in my shorts. So I said, look, boys, not a problem. Right. I ain't got a problem showing my body. Right. Give me a couple of minutes. Went inside, right? He then accused me of doing something in order to get myself aroused. Well, we were going to go down that road, right? Which again wasn't true. So I came out, walked out stark naked. Everybody said that because of who I was at the time, that it wasn't to go on social media, and it was just to be kept amongst ourselves. So I just walked out, paraded myself, walked around the pool, jumped in, walked out, and there was so you were there. The guy who put that question, he was there. And he knows that's how the story goes.
And funny enough, producers, I believe we've got a video right now coming up every week. I'm joking.
I've not got a problem with that. As I've always said to a lot of people, publishing be damned, But if you say anything untrue, I'll sue. It's as simple as that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we know about that.
It's not a problem. Yeah.
In fact, you did threaten to sue. Was it Wikipedia that you threatened to
Wikipedia.
sue?
And won, didn't you?
Oh no, they had to withdraw because I don't know who it was, whether or not it was a disgruntled ex-girlfriend or anything like that. But on my Wikipedia page, it had originally it used to have Sean Archibald Wallace, born the 22nd of March 1986, from Upminster. What's that? Who's he? That's not me. He's been married since 1990 to a woman called Matilda Bray. What? Really? And that, so they changed. They eventually got my real name, and eventually got where the area in which I live. Even though I then had to, I said, don't put where I live because I'm going to get hassled. Yeah. So anyway, but they wouldn't take down the fact that they said I was married. I said, look, I've never been married. So when they put an article about me in the Sun the other day, I just told my lawyer, if they put that in again, they'll be hearing from my solicitors. Simple as that.
The end of it.
Yeah, simple as that. One more time, then I will be taking this matter to court. Bad enough now. Don't know who this person is.
And too right too as well. It must be really kind of like interesting being in the public eye and having to deal with all that kind of craziness that people.
You know what? Listen, it comes with the territory. As long as it doesn't, it's not intrusive or invades my life, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
So,
because the one thing I will never ever do, and the one thing I've always made sure, is that fame should never control you. You control it. Because the one thing about fame, if you allow it to seduce you, it could destroy you.
100%.
Yeah. And it ain't doing that to me, mate. You've got to be joking. I've got the same friends I grew up with. I've got the same people who take the mickey out of me like I take the mickey out of them. Ask Ray because he did the same thing to me in Malta, but we won't be going down that road. Yeah, we won't be going down that road, and he knows what I'm talking about.
I've got a video of that one.
Yeah, you know what you're talking about. Yeah, but yeah, it's important that obviously I'm grateful for being in the public eye because with fame comes responsibility. So it gives me the opportunity to sort of try and help others to get not to the same level, but as me, hopefully beyond what I've achieved. So that's why I go into a lot of schools and go into a lot of colleges and basically say, look, you can just be like me, only better.
Sean,
and remember, I'm the guardian of today. You're the future of tomorrow.
Well, Sean, how did you feel when another black person deemed your nickname, the Dark Destroyer, offensive?
I don't know why my name was in her mouth, to be fair. But some people, don't be offensive for me, because when Bradley started calling me, I'm known as a legal, and I'm known as a Dark Destroyer as well. He then started calling me the Dark Destroyer. Now, the only umbrage I took to that is because it was Nigel Benn's nickname. Yes, and I didn't want the time when I'm walking down the road and I see Nigel Ben, he goes, "Oi, you! This is my nickname." Right? Next thing I've got 2 missing teeth and a black eye. Right? But the way in which I view my nickname is that I'm dark and I destroy people with my intellect. Simple as that.
So you never felt it was a slur at all, to be honest?
Not at all. Not at all.
Neither. I didn't. I mean, I couldn't make head or tail of that, to be honest.
Well, as I say, some people, want to sort of jump on the shirt tails of fame, and I don't know what my name was doing in their mouth. So
yeah, as they say, they called it doing it for the clout, mate. Doing it for the clout.
So when Shaun Wallace is at home and Shaun Wallace is relaxing and he's listening to music, what kind of music would we catch you to?
Ranging from Grover Washington Jr. when I'm relaxing. I love my hip hop, but I prefer old school hip hop. So I'm a Tribe Called Quest nut. So I've got drawings of them on my wall. For me,
Q-Tip.
You can't touch him as a rapper.
No.
I mean, I hear what you say about Nas, because Nas, as I say, the Illmatic, he's fantastic. But for me, I don't know, Q-Tip and the Midnight Marauders album. If I'm training, that's what I train to.
Wow.
So I train every single day. I think it's well documented. I do 2,000 ab crunches per day, every single day.
Wow.
I've injured my leg now, but normally I would go for a 3-mile run. So I'd normally have that in my ears and just run.
Wow. Rest in peace, Fife Dog.
Yeah. You know what? It's 5 years ago this month he died.
Wow. That is amazing.
You know his real name is Isaac Taylor.
Do you know what? It's just interesting that you just pluck the facts out. Have you got a photographic memory?
No. You know what it is? It's not having a photographic memory. If you're interested in something, you're going to remember it. The more interest you have in subjects, the more you're going to remember it. And remember, I'm a trained barrister. I'm trained to think on my feet. I'm trained to react under pressure. If I can appear in front of the Court of Appeal, in front of the sturdiest judges in the country, then sitting in a black chair answering questions, it's not a problem. And the worst thing I can do on a question show is get a question wrong. Guess what? If I get it wrong, I'm confident I'm going to get the next one right.
Sean, how did you feel at that moment when you got crowned in 2004 as Mastermind? Fully well knowing as well that you're going to be the first black Mastermind.
When they said the winner is Shaun Wallace, they had to refilm the ending because I sat there for 2 minutes. I don't know. I've never been married. I've never had a child. And I would imagine that people who've gone through that experience would say that's one of the best experiences they had in their entire life. And I sat there for 2 minutes, and I don't think I've ever experienced feelings of joy in my entire life. And the tears just streamed down my eyes, and everybody would start to get worried. And they said, "Are you all right, Sean?" I said, "I'm okay," because I knew what was coming next.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the reasons I was sat there from it's like I was suspended in disbelief, because I thought to myself, when people realise what's happened, they're going to go nuts. I didn't tell a soul. The first time my mum knew that I won was when she saw it on telly.
Wow.
Right, because I wanted. There's a reason behind that, because at the time it was the closest victory in the show's entire history. We both got 24 points. He passed twice. I didn't pass. And they said to me, "Sean, why didn't you pass through the entirety of the show?" I said, "I only passed when I'm playing football." Right? Where's my trophy? So, you know, I felt like Bobby Moore when I was lifting it. And they didn't broadcast it for another 6 months. So it gave me a chance to think to myself, well, you know what, guess what? When people realize what I've done, they're going to go mad. They're going to feel proud, especially knowing full well that a person of color does have the same intellectual rigor as their white counterpart.
Yeah.
And so far, and it was a interesting quote. I was a quote of the day when they asked me the time. They said to me, "How did you feel at that moment?" I said, "So far as black people are concerned, it was the equivalent of Neil Armstrong landing on the moon."
Yeah.
Indeed.
What was the preparation like for Mastermind? How did you prepare for that?
Okay. My original subjects were, I love history. All quizzes are good because the history is good. History tells the origins of a subject. You've got the history of mankind, and I've always had a love of history. So if you've got an appreciation of history, you've got an appreciation of the history and development of other subjects, the history of music, the history of science, the history of art. So that's what's given me a greater appreciation for other subjects. And as a kid, I loved learning. I was a geek, really. It just goes to show that intelligence is the new cool. And again, allied to my training as a barrister, I just remained calm under pressure. Doing the Mastermind Grand Final was it was just a wonderful experience. All my other competitors were nervous, and I deliberately I played some mind games with them because I got to the Grand Final late. Typical black man. I was supposed to be there at 3 o'clock. I was strolling at 3:30, wearing dark glasses, an all black T-shirt, and I walked in and said, "Yo, all right, everybody, cool." So anyway, they said, "Oh, Sean, you're finally here. Oh, we're about to do the rehearsal for anybody winning it." I said, "Well, you're first. Why don't you go first?" For me, that was like a sign from God. So when I did it, I sat in the chair. I said, "You know what? I'm doing this in exactly 2 hours' time," and I did.
We have a question from Leroy asking, "Would you go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?"
I've done it the other day as a charity. They wouldn't let me on it now because obviously, A, I work for ITV, and B, I'm seen as a professional quizzer. My brother, who's here today, he was telling me that he went for an audition with somebody else to do a show. And the guy he went with apparently is a big fan of mine. So anyway, my brother done really, really well. So, and they were about to choose him. And the guy turned around and said, "Oh, you see, Stephen, he's Shaun Wallace's brother." The whole face is dropped. They got elbowed. They got elbowed.
So Shaun, let's see if you're gonna be cool, calm, and collected now. We've got our very own quiz for you because obviously everybody wants to quiz the quizzer.
Of course.
So I'm gonna hand you over to Reggie as we play our version of Chase the Chaser.
Yeah. Chase the Chaser. Shaun, just before we do start, anyway, is there a particular charity that you patron of or ambassador for?
There's quite a few, but if I was to choose one right now, I was thinking off the top of my head because I support loads of charities. If people ask me to do something to try and help raise their profile, I'll always do that. But if as something which comes to mind now, I do a lot of work for prostate cancer. I also do a lot of work for sickle cell as well. So, those are the two charities which are close to my heart.
So what we're going to do is for every question you get right, we're going to club in and put 10 quid for every question you get right. Okay. So you'll set the trend as in like as a whole, because the budgets on here are not quite ITV budgets. Okay. So first of all, welcome to, I'm going to try and do my best, Bradley. Welcome to Chase the Chaser with contestant Shaun Wallace. Right. This is the cash builder round. Question number 1. In 1988, RJS did their first holiday away trip to Ibiza.
It was in 1987, by the way.
Okay. 87, sorry. Yeah. Which DJ did not feature?
Gordon Mack was there. He was definitely there. I don't remember seeing Mystery there, so I'm going to say Mystery.
You know what?
Yeah, good to go.
Well done, sir.
Yeah,
well done. Congratulations.
Yeah. Paul's my mate, so I know Paul a long time. I would have known if I'd have seen Paul there. I'm going to call him Mystery though. Mr. Paul. Yeah, I'm going to Paul Charlton. Yeah.
All right, question number 2. Producers, get it up on the screen. Which of these was the longest running black club in London?
Wow. Right. I used to go Porky's on a Tuesday night. But I'm going to have to go Night Moves. I'm going to have to go Night Moves. I'm going to have to say Night Moves.
You're saying Night Moves?
You're going for Night Moves?
Actually, no, it's not. It's Granaries.
It's Granaries, yeah.
Is it Granaries?
He's done it wrong. It's Granaries.
I thought Granaries, because Granaries used to be by Crystal Palace. I thought that started in the sort of
Granaries 1990, 30 years this year.
1990, yeah. And I've been going to Night Moves since 1983, 1982. What are you talking about?
No.
Yeah, but it finished in 2001.
No.
We got a dispute here.
No.
We disputed it.
No, we've got a dispute. Yeah, I was going to Night Moves right since 1983. Yeah,
what was the
Granaries started in about 1990 because it used to be about old Crystal Palace.
It started in 1990. It's 31 years this year.
Yeah,
but Night Moves as a club. Remember when it closed? What year did it close?
I guess what? I mentioned when it closed. You asked me which one started first, right? And Night Moves started in 1980. Night Moves was going from about 1982, right? I went to the first start
in Crystal Palace. That was.
No. Granaries was in Crystal Palace.
Yes.
Porky's used to go Porky's every Tuesday. Yeah. Everybody used to go Porky's on a Tuesday. I used to go Porky's on a Tuesday. Right?
Yes. Let me just clarify.
Night Moves
25 years. I spoke to Scully. 25 years.
All I'm telling you is this: Night Moves was been going since 1982. Right?
1979 it opened.
Is it 1979? Well, I started going in 1982. Yeah, and that was on Shoreditch High Street.
Mm-hmm.
The one-way system.
Yeah.
So I don't know how Granaries started before Night Moves. Don't know how that started.
It's the longest running.
Longest running.
1990 to now, and it's still running. That's 30 years. 30.
Oh,
okay.
You got the question wrong.
Longest running.
You got the question wrong. Let me just give him the brandy face.
Okay. All right, then. I'll allow that one.
All right. Okay. So, question number 3. Which group recorded the rare groove anthem Body Fusion?
Oh, God almighty. Wasn't it Death Band?
Why wasn't it the Death Band?
No, if it was a Death Band. Definitely wasn't them.
Okay.
I'm not really good on groups, actually, in music. I'm gonna say no. It definitely wasn't the Death Band. I'd know if it was a Death Band. I'm gonna go for the middle one.
Barcase.
Yeah.
The answer is.
Is that your final answer?
Okay. Okay. I love what you do to me. Body fusion.
Yes, the one.
Okay, you're doing all right so far. You got 10 quid in the kitty. Well, we'll
Wow.
say 15 because of the dispute.
We've got 3 more questions.
quid. Right. Which sound from Northwest London is considered to be the first street sound to play in a blues dance? You're from Northwest.
Soul blues dance.
Wow.
Soul blues dance.
Yeah.
Oh dear. It's either A or C. Because Lewis is my mate, yeah, and those boys I've known them man a long time. I'm gonna say Mastermind. Yeah.
The answer is
Fresh Beat. Okay.
And it couldn't have been Rap Attack because Alistair was in Fresh Beat.
yeah.
And then he went to form what is now known as Rap Attack.
When I started going to carnival I started going carnival in my very first carnival was 1975. But when I used to always follow Sweeney Sound when they used to play under the flyover. But when they stopped doing that, I then followed Rap Attack. But then I stopped going to Rap Attack.
Yeah, big up Mastermind anyway.
Big up to those playing along in the chat as well. Right. Question number 5. Which was the first soul sound that Desi G and Barry White played in?
Oh, well, you had Desi G, Barry White, Slim Tim, and Tony Nicks. So that's got to be Touch of Class. Got to be.
Final answer?
Yeah, definitely. Was it high tension? Oh no, it's a disaster. I like to follow the Touch of Class boys, and they were good actually.
Sean.
Like, everybody thinks I'm a fake Quaver now.
Right, okay, so we've got a sudden death question. Here's your chance to win the full 50 quid.
Yeah.
There's 5 questions, full 50 quid for your charity, courtesy of Set the Trend. Right, okay. Here it is. I'm a big Arsenal fan, by the way.
Me too.
Right. Which minute did Arsenal score the winning goal in the 1979 Cup final?
And before
it was scored by Alan Sunderland. And if you basically I'll tell you how it started. It was a ball played up to Liam Brady. Liam Brady then put a lovely little outside ball to Graham Ricks, who put a ball which sailed over Graham Bailey's head. And Alan Sunderland, Steve Walford was standing right behind him wearing the number 12 shirt. So I'm going to have to say the 89th minute. Because if McElroy scored in the 88th and they then scored again,
well done.
I'm going to have to say the 89th minute.
McElroy the second, and it's 2-2. There's a minute left on the clock. Brady for Arsenal. Right across, Sunderland! It's there! It's 3-2! Arsenal are back in front through Alan Sunderland. United are possibly, but only after a heart-stopping moment when Manchester United came back quite unexpectedly.
Hey, well done. Congratulations, Sean. Well done. And if Ernie's watching, I hope that brought back some good memories for you, Ernie.
Don't get that guy started. I was supposed to be in this podcast the other day, right? And your mate, where is he? Right, Robbo Ranks, right? Right. Tell him I'm gunning for him, all right? I'm not having it, yeah? I'm not having that level of disrespect from that guy. All right? I'm not having it, yeah? All right, yeah?
Shaun Wallace, the Dark Destroyer, one of our own, Thank you for coming on. This is one of my most enjoyable podcasts as well.
Oh, cheers, man. Right. By the way, I am not a fake raver. Okay, I was just because I got those questions wrong. I'm not a fake raver. I was there.
We got him.
Sean, like your book's out. I've got your book. What's it called? And
Chasing the Dream.
Chasing the Dream.
And that's on Amazon, man. They can get it.
You can get it on Amazon, or you can go to my publisher and get it from there. But you're going to enjoy it. Everybody who's read it can say they can identify with it.
That's cool. Thanks a lot, Shaun Wallace,
Cheers,
a chaser in
Love
the
it.
building. Thank you and respect and love. Oh my days! I thoroughly enjoyed that. I don't care. I really enjoyed that. I really. That's one of my highlights of lockdown. I don't care. I don't care.
That football question, boy, I have to say, I got to give it to him for that one.
Well,
yes, he described the whole goal and everything.
Hey, and don't think that you guys ain't gonna give me the money for me to give Shaun. Shaun will be on my case. He's about
Don't worry about it.
give him to call. He's only got my name and address, so
Fast.
it'll be over. Anyway, the show doesn't end there. We've got a fantastic end to the show. One of the icons, one of the goddesses of soul, of whatever you want to call it, rare group, whatever you want to call our music. She is one of the originals, and she's one of the queens. Isn't she not, Eastender?
She sure is. Let's bring her on. Miss Cherie Brown.
The Cherie Brown. Not
Hey.
Wow, she's bringing some sunshine to the podcast. She's got.
Thank you.
Excellent.
I'm the queen. Wow, that means so much to me. so you know I'm in my backyard. You know, I'm in my garden on the deck outside of my house. You never know how the weather's going to be here in Los Angeles, California, here in the U.S. And it's kind of chilly. I had to actually. The sun is out, but the wind started coming and it's getting a little cold. But I'm here. I can't wait. It's my pleasure. I'm actually on my way to a show tonight, so I won't be able to spend as much time as we had thought, guys. But I want to be able to do at least one song and just share with you all. I love your show. Oh my goodness.
Thanks for listening, Cherie. Cherie, how have you been over this COVID time anyway, in this whole year, before we get into the song?
It's been rough.
Mm-hmm.
It's been really rough. Just a new appreciation for life. I get a little emotional, so I don't know if you know, it made me appreciate my family and friends and my fans and those who supported me in my music, my peers. It's just a whole nother thing. And then it was very reflective for me also, thinking back to a lot of different things. And so this project was a saving grace for me. And actually, I started working on the album 3 years ago. Little did I know that we would be in the midst of all of this that's going on, not only with the pandemic, but all of the political and racial challenges that we've had here in the States and, you know, all over the world. And so little did I know that a lot of the music from this album is so real for what is happening right now and what we've been going through. So it's been challenging.
So the new album is called?
It's called Messages from the Spirit, The Collective, and it's on Expansion Records.
Now, we spoke about that. You mentioned that in a conversation we had when you in London, as you said, 4 years ago.
Yes.
And it's now coming out today.
Yes.
I just want to take you back before we go into that new project. 40 years ago, you recorded Straight Ahead for Capitol Records.
Yes.
And that's the song, that's the album that's got Everything You Do. And of course, it's got It's a Pleasure on it, which is one of our rare group anthems played by some of the great DJs in London. That's part of the street sound culture. Can you remember that recording session? Can you remember what it was like recording that project?
Oh my gosh, yes. So you know, a lot of times when you're recording, you lay the track, the music, and then you do a scratch vocal over it, right? And so I had the opportunity and the blessing to be in the same recording room, all the musicians and myself with my guitar were recording together. And it was Richard Rudolph. And I remember he had played a cassette of an arrangement that Jim Gilstrap, Swing Your Daddy Jim Gilstrap, arranged for me in advance. He's singing background on it, so is Patrice Rushen and myself. So we're in the recording studio, and he puts the cassette on, and my music mentor, music director at the time, Alexander Thomas, who used to be one of the original horn players for Earth, Wind, and Fire, did the charts. So all the chord charts are there for the musicians, and Richard Rudolph, who used to be married to Minnie Riperton, the late Minnie Riperton, played the cassette, and all the musicians were listening. It was Abraham Laborio, Paulinho da Costa, Patrice Rushen. I mean, it was just amazing. And so then he said, okay, let's go for it. Let's go for it. So I'm playing my guitar and I'm just listening to it. And the music is just so happening. And so at the end, you know, when I'm going, yes, that happened right then and there. And I had a cold, you know, I was a little bit hoarse. And we actually used that track, the scratch vocal, because it was so organically locked in with all the musicians, you know, and it was magical. And so I think that popped off the airwaves and the vinyl when people were hearing it.
Wow.
That's what I think.
So we're about to get a performance from you.
Yes, you know what? I'm going to do a special rendition of that song.
Take it away.
Just for you all, right?
Reggie, can we have an introduction for Miss Cherie Brown, please?
Yep, no problem. Ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, please give it up for the amazing, the wonderful, the super talented, amazing Cherie Brown.
Ooh. Hey, 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 hey. To all my people out there, yeah. Ooh. But I need to know. Ooh. But I need to know. Now it's a pleasure to be getting it together, so come on and move on by. And I'm not playing, all I'm saying is it's time for us to get it together. Now would it be if you could see that I love you? You tell me you love me. Oh, oh, oh. You say you would, then now you should, cause love has no time for the things people play. Now it's a pleasure to be getting it together, so come on and move on. And I'm not playing, all I'm saying is it's time for us to get it together. But I need to know. Now check this. Now would it be if you could see that I love you? You tell me you love me. Oh, oh, oh. You say you would, then now you should, cause love has no time for the games people play. Now it's a pleasure to be getting it together, so come on and move on fun, yeah. And I'm not playing, all I'm saying is it's time for us to get it together. You see, love has no games, love plays no games, love plays no games, love plays no games. Hey, 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 hey. Love plays no games. Hey, 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 hey. Love plays no games. I love you all, cause love plays no games.
Thank you. And we had Angie Stone on a couple last week, I think it was, and she said something about putting stank on it. You definitely put the stank on that one. 100%.
Thank you. That was special. I've never done that rendition. That was inspired by you all.
Thank you so much.
And
yes.
Cherie, do we look forward to seeing you in England sometime once this pandemic has blown over?
Ooh, when it's over, when we get through it, I'll be there. Just bring me on out and check out the album. You know, one thing about this album that's really happening, it is the music that we released ahead of time of a book that's coming out later in fall. The book is called Messages from the Spirit. And it's features the story of young adult women who've overcome challenges. And so each story and chapter, there's a song dedicated to each woman and their story. And so a number of those women that are telling their story, they're actually singing on the song that's dedicated to their story. So I'm either doing a duet with them. There's a couple that do it. They're featured themselves by themselves, but I've written the songs and produced all of them, or co-produced, and written and co-wrote all of them except for one. And so that's why I called it a collective, because I'm with my peers. So Patrice Rushen and I are doing something, Jim Gilstrap, Dwight Tribble, and then a number of young adults that are up and coming. One works with Anderson .Paak and Dr. Dre and D Smoke. The late Roy Hargrove's younger brother, Brian Hargrove, is involved in it. There's a young man, John Redwine, who has produced some things for Chris Brown and Zendaya. It's a family affair. My daughter and my son are both involved. I have two nieces and nephews. It's humbling and special for me because it's a collab. I call it a gumbo mix because it's the old and the seasoned. And so all of this was started 3 years ago, and we finished it. The last song that we did, I call it my COVID song. We did it and finished it after there was a lockdown here in the States. So everything had to be done virtually, and that was a challenge for me. It took me 3 days, 3 hours each to lay my lead and my vocals, my background on it. So
I know you're pushed for time, but you know the new single is out and the new album's out. Is there any chance we can just get a sneak preview of the?
Okay, I'm just gonna play the opening, and I wanted to thank you because this is like my tune-up for this show tonight. It's my first show in over a year. It's an intimate acoustic, virtual from the world stage. It's a virtual set from the world stage in Leimert Park, California, Los Angeles. So I'm just gonna play just my little. This is how we started working the song. I wrote it with a young drummer named Patrick Jarrett Jr. and another artist, Marcus Paul. He's a horn player, arranger, producer, writer. He works a lot with Dr. Dre and other folks, but the three of us co-wrote it. So they came to my house and they start off the drum. Well, actually, they start off with the drum beat, and then I started going. I think I'll take a walk with love. You can always love till love's enough. So let us fly just like a dove. I think I'll take a walk with love. Birds in the sky, fly high. Have you ever wondered why? You gotta get the singer to hear the rest. But that's how we start. So you're hearing it how we started it from scratch with my just coming up with those licks on my guitar, and then the drums coming in, the keyboards coming in. So yeah. I just want you all to know how much you all are a part of this movement for me. This project is dedicated to Stevie Wonder, the late Minnie Riperton, and Dionne Warwick, because they inspired me as a young adult. And this project and the book is centering and was inspired by my young adult years, because that's where my foundation, my musical foundation, comes from. And you know what? When I went, 2012, 2011, when I came out there to do the show, oh my gosh, I just never knew there was just that kind of appreciation for my music. I came back bragging about you all. I still brag about you all. And so I just want you to know that, you all have given me life once, twice, 3 times. This is my 3rd project. And I wanted to have it attached to you all. That's why I went to Ralph T and Richard Serling at Expansion, because of that whole connection. It's like going full circle. And I think this is my best project. So,
and that show was at the Indigo O2 with Leon Ware, Gene Khan, and the Valentine brothers.
Yes, it was awesome.
That was the moment. Shout out to Orlando Gittins as well for that.
Yes.
Yes.
So thank you so much for having you on. I'm sorry I couldn't spend more time. I love you all. And I'm looking forward to.
Thank you for the music. Our producers are going crazy backstage. They're like, come on, she's amazing. She's amazing.
Well, look, I'm going to be talking about you all tonight at my show too. So come on now, all right? I love you guys.
One other thing, just before you go, the music is amazing, but they're loving your earrings in the chat room. They're saying it's beautiful.
Tell them thank you. I did it just for you all. Come on now.
Thank you.
So where can we watch the show tonight?
You can go to, it's 8:00 Pacific Standard Time here in the US. You can go to YouTube, World Stage, the World Stage, or you at YouTube or Facebook, World Stage. I think I sent a flyer.
I'll put it up in the group right now.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
No problem.
Now I'm ready for tonight. Yes.
We are ready for tonight.
Thank you for coming.
If we could, Cherie Brown. You're an absolute legend in the street sounds circuit. We play your music as an anthem. When we play Rare Groove, it's a staple tune that has to be played amongst the tunes. It's one of our favorites. And to have you here live on the show at such a difficult time as well for a lot of people, and you're just you just that spirit, that energy that you're talking about, that the book, it just radiates from you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you all.
See you later. Thank you.
Wow.
Wow.
Hey, talk about energy tonight. Talk about energy.
Positive
tonight.
And
I'm smiling.
And from start to finish, from Quincy straight onto Shaun Wallace, and finished with the legend that is Cherie Brown. The energy on here tonight. Oh my days, man.
And I want to just salute MJR Roadshow, early days, Jigs, Street Life, TNT and Mystery, and Cass Manhattan, the street sounds that made me first aware.
Friends.
Yeah, those sounds that first made me aware of that song.
Yeah.
So, salute to all those guys there.
Right. That was a great show. You can watch it back on our YouTube channel, Set the Trend Podcast. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please go there, subscribe to our channel. So when we come out with our shows and our content, you'll be one of the first to know, just in case we don't communicate with you in any other form or manner. The chat room, they absolutely love her though, don't they?
Yeah, some great comments coming in.
Love her. And Shaun, yeah.
And can I just say, on behalf of all of us, like the whole team, to those who are in the chat room, you really make our day. We go back and we don't get a chance to look at every single comment. Sometimes when the comments come up on screen, we have a bit of a laugh, but we are noticing it and we really appreciate it.
We go back afterwards and then we cuss off certain people.
We
and they know who they are. They know who they are. Usual suspects. You know what I mean? But we love them.
I saw Nick's mentioning about barristers and thinking quick on their feet.
Yeah, she's using her excuses. Anyway, more importantly, as important, should I say, as our lovely people in the chat room who do make the show. Next week, Saturday, Very important for those of you who are still wondering about COVID-19, and should you, some of you may have taken it, some of you may not have taken it, some of you are wondering, should I take it? Some of you are saying burn a fire on people who do take it. Some of you are unfriending friends who have taken the vaccine, and some of you are unfriending friends who keep forwarding on conspiracy theories about COVID-19 and whether or not it should be taken in our community. Next week, Saturday, we have a part 2 to our Vaccine and Our Community podcast that we did about 6 weeks ago. We've added 2 more doctors to the lineup, Dr. Sarah and Phyllis and Hamish Mohammed. Both are experienced in infectious diseases, and they will be telling us, and they deal with a lot of, when it comes to actually talking about Black people and how this affects us, they're doing a lot of the work around that. So a lot of the data you see coming out from public health is coming from these guys. So we've got them in. So next week, Saturday, we're going to be answering your questions. We'll be putting some questions, posting out some questions for you to answer on the thread, for you to answer with your questions on the thread. And next week, Saturday, we'll be trying to get through as much as yours possible. So we really want you to be part of the show next week. So that's that. The week after that is the first one in April, and our guest will be DJ Spoonie will be coming up.
Spoonie!
And we'll be talking about his affection for street sounds. And the week after that, we've just confirmed one of the greatest selectors, especially in the reggae and dancehall world. He will be live here, and we'll be talking to him about his connection with street sounds. Rory from Stone Love will be here live in the building. And I can't remember if we confirmed the week after, because I know someone was supposed to do something. I don't know if the producers can give me a nod. Jide, did you confirm the week after with that female DJ or not? Yes, no? Yes, no? Yes, no? Oh, well, he hasn't nodded. And so I presume
he said 40 seconds.
He was got his bed. Okay, so we confirm our lineup. We will be telling you what we're doing for the month of April, but it's looking quite tasty.
Brilliant.
As is. So, what will you be doing for the rest of the week, Mr. EastEnder? What you got cooking?
Tuesday night, Facebook Live, 2 hours show, 10 p.m. 3 hours, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. I've really got.
Did you know that you never ever on this show big up Miles's show, your son's show, which is just before you. You never ever give him any love, but you're on your own show.
No, what
and he sets up for you, and he's the producer.
Exactly. He gets the crowd.
That's some Batman business. I like, and any rest.
I'll tell you the honest truth about that. Yeah, the honest truth about that is that he doesn't really want to do his shows. Yeah? he's more interested in playing on the golf course, and his thing is about golf. And he goes back to work on Monday. So he won't even be doing a show.
What are you talking about? He sends me reggae tunes. What are you talking about? He don't business about reggae, but golf. He can do more than one task.
No, he's a fully professional.
Is he there? Is he there?
He's not at the Miles.
Where's Miles? Let's ask Miles.
Miles, bring him in.
Let's get Miles on this. What's going on?
Bring him up, man.
He's on the golf course.
I have to say, me and him have to talk about copyright claim with the DJ name, though.
Reggae and Styles. No, he's not coming in, I don't think.
We'll get him on the show at some point.
You asked me what I was doing. You didn't ask what he was doing. So I'm doing Facebook Live on Tuesday, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then after that, I've got some deals to close next week.
Some big deals. I've been looking at for a contract.
That's good. Well, we look forward to that. Reggie Styles, what are you up to this week, mate?
Radio show this coming Sunday 8 till 10, Monday 3 till 6 on London Soul Radio. Also on the no, it's not this week. It's the week Friday after. Virtual19.com. Be doing my thing on there. And also a couple of lives via my Twitch, Reggie Styles DJ on the Twitch. You know, trying to get the followers up. So please do go to my Twitch, and I'll be doing a few lives. If you like your music a bit more up tempo, then yeah, not quite as good as.
Do you really eat crackers?
Yeah, why not? Crackers and water. Remember the old biscuits? You know,
no, you're poor. No poor. Nigga, you're poor.
Can I just say, please don't call me that name again. Please don't call me that name again.
What name was that?
Crackers.
The N word.
Okay.
Please don't call me that.
So
We're his friend, but we're not friend like that. You know what I mean? No, I'm just joking.
Relax now.
Yeah. So that's it. And you never know. Next week I might have a little jab in the arm by next week Saturday.
Okay.
What you thinking about it? You're not old enough.
Thinking. I don't need to think about it. I'll be trying to get an appointment.
You're not old enough.
Don't worry about that, mate. Special friends.
Okay. Friends in high places.
Not in high places, just special friends.
Okay.
But yeah. So Mr. Sweet Vibes or Vibes the Duke, as you know, what are you going to be up to this week?
Or the dinosaur.
Yeah, the dinosaur.
Yeah, the dinosaur is here. Yeah, with little hands. I'm up for breakfast blues in the morning at 9 a.m. in the morning. I think I'm there. Situation room and Robin's corner will be in full effect till midday. So we'll be there. I'm not doing anything in the week. No, I don't think I'm doing anything in the week. I'll be having a couple of meetings with you lads in the week. Yeah. We'll be doing what we need to be doing for next week.
Okay.
There's a lot of research that we got to do for next week, lads.
The
good thing about the research, I got a apprentice, a junior that does all my stuff for me. Come on in, sir.
You got it like that. There he is.
Hey, Miles.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, Miles, the question is, because we had your dad up, so you might want to defend him if you want.
Okay.
No pressure. We asked him what he's doing this week, and he said quite rightly he mentioned his show, which goes on a Tuesday night from 10 o'clock. So I said to him, but you never ever mention Miles' show. Miles' show goes out before you. Miles produces your show, gets your show working technically right, and you don't big up Miles' show. And he says, well, Miles is not really interested in this show. Is that right?
I wouldn't say that. My show was a time filler. A way for me to take my mind off not being at golf. And yeah, but back to work on Monday, getting ready for the 29th for when the members return and competition season after that.
Yeah, and I will say that Miles is a good golfer. I've seen him at work.
It's his handicap, you call it, you lot. I mean, I don't play golf.
Yeah. Miles' handicap.
My handicap has been taken away from me.
It's been cut.
Because of COVID?
No. So in October, I started my journey as a PGA professional.
Hey!
Looking to get into coaching, competing, and custom fitting.
Excellent, Miles.
In other words, he doesn't play with a handicap anymore. Is that right?
Yeah.
So what does that actually mean? So remember that I don't play golf, so I don't know what that
plays from scratch.
Plays from scratch.
So explain what a handicap is.
A handicap is a number given to golfers to represent their ability and used in game situations to equal out the playing field.
So last week I asked Reggie and Merv what their handicap was. Reggie,
I remember. Yeah, that's why I asked.
What's your handicap?
Well, my official club handicap is 16.
It's 16.
But I probably play to about 20, 22 at the moment. But I'm looking forward to getting
29
back out.
last week. You said 29 last
28.
week. So what are you cutting numbers for?
Because I did say I really don't play to 28. Miles knows I don't play to 28. You saw me that time. Remember who won straightest drive, mate? Me.
I do believe I came third in longest drive.
Oh yes, you did actually, and that was against a lot of very big professionals in there. So we've got to give him massive respect because
we've also when we got Spoonie on, he's a keen golfer as well.
Yep. Spoonie, I'm sure you'll be invited to his invitational. And we'll definitely talk about Spoonie's invitational as well. I've still got me my little pack from one of his first ever invitational golf days out. So I'll be showing you lot, what you kind of like get.
And most importantly, Miles, I think Uncle Ray deserves another dancehall folder, please.
You'll get one this evening.
Yeah, clean edits.
Thank you, sir. Clean edits as well.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Miles. Thank you, sir.
Good evening,
Next Tiger Woods. I bet his dad's going to be his manager.
No. I'm not. Actually.
No, leave it to the professionals, mate.
I'll leave that one to the professionals. Yeah.
IMG or Reggie.
Listen.
Great show, lads. Everybody who's listening, thank you. Whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube, please subscribe and follow the page. And you guys have, in all seriousness, it's been a long, hard year for everybody. And we've had people who haven't made the year due to COVID and have gone and transitioned before their time with us. So I suppose on this time, it's for us to kind of reflect on people who haven't been here, reflect on how lucky some of us have been and are going to be, hopefully, in the future out of this. So I suppose I'll just leave you on those thoughts and, on any of your loved ones that have been affected or have died because of COVID. 1 year on Tuesday, I think it's Wednesday, the 23rd, is going to be a year that we've been in lockdown, and it really came home to a lot of us how real this disease and virus is. So until next week, Set the Trend podcast.
Yeah, something about Hollywood. Hollywood.
What about Hollywood?
Producers mentions about the census.
Oh, well, it's me again, my friend. I'm back with a brand new mix and blend. So all the ladies, take your time. Hollywood, I've got some stuff to rhyme. Let me say it again. Well, here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. People love you more than you should know. Oh. Well, here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. People love no. All right then, let me start. Well, I would be a ventriloquist if I didn't take the piss. Hollywood, when they're at top of the list. Ladies, I wanna hug up and squeeze up a kiss. It goes a little something like this. Well, here's for you, Mrs. Robinson. People love you more than you should know.
There you go. Done, Mr. Holly. So if you
Robinson, originally done by Simon and Garfunkel, and then covered by the Beatles, and then 40 odd years or whatever it is later, covered by Hollywood.
Available on all good downloading sites very soon.
Soon.
Yeah, and don't forget, make sure you do the census, because if you don't deliver it by the deadline, which is the 21st of March, then you will get fined. So if you get your census in, I know some people are probably saying, "Man, I'm not filling no form," but please do it, because it's very important, especially for your grandkids, to know about what you were doing at this time and what we were doing at this time. So that's the importance of it.
Cool. See you guys next week. See everybody else next week. Peace, love. We're out of here. Set the Trend podcast.